Good morning. Welcome to
Morning.
the first ever segment of Coffee with a Counselor, Grice edition.
Whoop,
I'm
whoop.
Jess Thelma. I'm the counselor. Today I'm
Uh,
having coffee with Miss Megan Sickler, seventh
Hi,
grade
guys.
inclusion teacher from Grice Middle School. Welcome.
What's up, Miss Belmont? How are you?
Good. First things first, it's Jersey Day this week in Hamilton Township. It is Spirit Week. And today is wear your favorite sports jersey. Of course, I have on my USA Women's National Team jersey supporting my favorite player, Julie Ertz.
Love
And
it.
of course, Carly Lloyd and Tobin Heath because they're from New Jersey. Miss Sickler, tell us about your jersey. Who do you have on here?
I got my Dodgers on. Cody Bellinger, number 35, MVP. I always joke with Principal Sis from Yardville, because he's the only other Dodger fan I know, that we're holding out for the spring without baseball this year. So got to rep my team.
Now you took a trip for what's it called for baseball? Preseason, whatever.
Yeah, so for this year, for my birthday, I went to Arizona for spring training.
Yes, spring training.
And we made it through five innings of one game before rain canceled us, and then COVID-19 canceled. So I can say I've been to the first spring training without baseball, but it was awesome. I definitely am planning a trip for next year. It was such a cool experience, and I'm hoping that next year we actually can see more games.
I can tell you're excited. You're like glowing just even talking about it.
I love my boys.
So I do have a few questions for you here on my handy dandy note card. And then
Let's
we
do
have
it.
a little bit of a game, and then we'll close out.
Sounds
And we'll drink
good.
our coffee. So
I love
first
your
thing I want
Grice
to ask, of course, is how remote learning is going.
It has definitely had a learning curve. It was a lot harder than I had expected it to be, but I'm very fortunate that I have a great partner teacher in Mrs. Stefano, and we work really well together. Our kids have been very receptive to everything we've done. I love the number of students that come on and hang out with us on Google Hangout, and I love all of my coworkers have been really helpful anytime I have a question. So that has made it a lot easier than I thought it was going to be.
Good. Yeah, I know it's definitely challenging for everyone. Luckily, we do have Google Meet and Zoom and things like that where we can see face-to-face with our kids and other staff members and have a little fun with it every once in a while. Next question. What things are going well and what things are going maybe not so well with remote learning?
For my class specifically, or just in general?
In general, just for you.
I think providing students with a lot of resources helps them and say, use what you need, kind of like take what you need, leave what you don't. I know for my class, I post videos every day of the assignment and I walk them through what's expected of them, kind of what I would do, on the smartboard, and giving that visual has seemed to be really helpful.
Sure.
What I've learned from talking to my friends, talking to my students, giving a lot in one post tends to be overwhelming.
Sure.
So trying to minimize directions to keep them nice and concise, trying to minimize the amount of paperwork they have to go through has definitely been a suggestion, I guess, from the kids.
Sure.
And also something that has helped office hours, being able to go on Google Hangout, whether you're teaching a direct lesson or using it the way I do, it gives them an opportunity to check in with you, maybe ask about one question they're doing, and kind of clarify something so they can do the best they can on the assignment.
So they have the ability to kind of pop in and pop out as they please while you're on there.
Absolutely. I've seen
great.
cats, I've seen younger siblings. We've helped with other homework.
I'm sure sometimes these things turn into a show and tell.
It's all good. With Mrs. Stefano and I, our thought process is we're going to give them whatever they need. So if you need to show me your cat, sounds good to me. If you want to work on your essay, that works too.
Well, it's nice that there's a little bit of a personalization to it with being able to show you those things from home. But it sounds like other than that, you guys are trying to just kind of keep it consistent with how you would do it in a classroom. So, you guys are making modifications and kind of taking feedback from your kids just like you would in your classroom, which I think is great for them because they need some type of normalcy. And I think that's awesome.
Yeah, to the best of our ability. And we're lucky that we have a lot of students who feel comfortable enough to email us with questions. We've had great family feedback. So parents are asking questions, and it's been a lot of collaboration with everybody involved. You know, we always say it takes a village, and we're lucky that our village is working pretty well together. So we're trying to do the best we can for fourth marking period.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, good luck moving forward with remote learning. A bit of a different topic. As the play director
Sure.
at Grice Middle School, what's one thing you want to say to your cast and crew?
Oh, I miss them. I miss them so much. We were on a Google Meet the other day with some of our students that are in the play, and just hearing them sing and talk about the show was just warmed my heart. It was shocking how fast those few months went from November to March. And I just miss them. I hope they're practicing, because, you know, if we are back in school, the show must go on. And
the show must go on.
It's going to be a great production whenever it happens. I hope they're practicing, and I hope they remember all the good times we had as fondly as I do.
That's great. Well, hopefully when we get this video out there, they'll be able to hear that message and keep practicing their lines and keep singing those songs, even if it's in their shower at home.
I've heard great stories of students who are singing on Google Meets with other teachers, and they're practicing that way, which just is excellent. So hopefully we keep it up so we're ready whenever the show goes on.
Sounds like they're very passionate and looking forward to it. Hopefully we get back to school so that we can see the production that you've been working so hard to put together.
Definitely.
Again, shifting gears, moving on to another topic. What is one thing that you're doing at home for self-care?
Ooh, that's a good question. So like many of our students, I am somebody who struggles with anxiety, and with so much negativity on TV, it is hard to balance out and find time to be positive and time to take a break from work. So I try to make 1 hour a day of doing something that is strictly for me. Often it's going through old pictures, it's FaceTiming my friends, you know, playing games with my family, something that is not school related, that does not have the news or the TV on, that I could just disconnect from everything and really just find a moment of happiness, because everything we're doing is pretty serious. You know, our work is still important. Yeah. And what's going on with the world is important and serious, but it is vital for us to find one moment of happiness and take time for ourselves to better ourselves and to kind of clear our heads every day.
Sure. I think, you know, disconnecting is awesome. I mean, whether it's going outside for a walk, I know we haven't had many warm days, but those warm days every once in a while, it feels good to go out and get some sun. So I totally hear what you're saying about disconnecting. We have, you know, sometimes the news on in the background, and we don't realize how much it impacts people in general, let alone people with anxiety. Even though you're not completely focused on it, it's still information that's going into your head and then, you know, subconsciously making you think about stuff.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, disconnecting is awesome. So I have a few student questions for you. So hopefully we can get them answered. The first one is, do you play video games?
I was just talking with my students about that. I started playing on my phone because I'm dying to play video games right now, but I don't have a console. So I started playing MLB, TPS, and 2K on my phone. Okay. And I joked with my students that by the end of quarantine, guaranteed I'm going to have like a PlayStation. I'm going to learn how to play Call of Duty, and I'm going to win. Because
you're not only going to play, but you're going to be good.
Oh, I'm going to be good by the time this is over.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, next question. Do you play sports?
Not well. I do
love sports. Tell us about your sports.
I love baseball, so I love going out for a catch. I've been a baseball little sister my whole life, so I've never played myself, but I've kind of picked up things along the way. And I love, you know, riding my bike, so I don't know if I'd call it cycling for how slow I go, but there's that.
It still counts, getting outside, exercise.
It's a nice slow pace, so if you see me around Hamilton, please don't run me over.
You might, if you
Just
see Miss
wave. It's
Sickler
fine.
riding her bike, beep and wave. Yep, just don't scare her.
Please don't.
Next student question is, what is your favorite movie?
Ooh, that's hard. I would say La La Land.
Okay.
I love California. I love musicals. That one's high on my list. And also Twister. Twister is a classic.
Oh, okay.
And especially because it's going to be crazy weather this week. We always take it out when it's bad weather, and it just kind of sets the mood.
Wow.
One of my favorites.
Yeah, that's an old one. I would not think of that. You go musical on one side and then Twister on the other.
Yep.
Like you're all over the place.
It's all about balance.
So my last question for you is, list your top 3 Broadway shows.
Oh,
I know you're a big Broadway
am.
person, and I know you go see all the shows. So tell us your top 3.
I'm going to have to say The Lion King.
Mm.
I cried like a little girl. Hamilton was fantastic. And I know it just went off of Broadway, but I think you can find videos of it. Beetlejuice.
Okay.
Beetlejuice was something I didn't expect to be great. I went with my friends. I went with Miss Ionato. It blew me away. The music is awesome.
Awesome. So that's a pretty wide variety of plays that you have there in your top 3. You're
Absolutely
hot and cold.
I love liking a variety of things.
Yeah.
Definitely like mixing it up.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing all of those answers. The last thing I have before we close out, I have a bit of a game. It's called This or That.
Okay.
So I'm going to set a timer for about 10 seconds, and we'll see how many cards we can get through for this or that. And I'm going to move my coffee because I'm paranoid that I'm going to
It's going to go.
Yeah. All right. So, you ready?
All right, let's do it.
Reading or watching TV?
Reading.
Wake up early or stay up late?
Stay up late.
Nike or Adidas?
Nike.
Pop or country?
Country.
Taylor Swift or Beyonce?
Taylor Swift.
Summer or winter?
Summer.
Belmont or Palzone?
My best
friend! So just to let everyone know, we have Pride House and Spirit House at Grice Middle School, and I am the 7th and 8th grade Spirit House counselor. Miss Palzone is the 7th and 8th grade Pride House counselor, and we are pretty competitive. So I have to throw something like that in there.
I love you both.
Watches and can see. So again, I thank you for sharing everything. Some of those things weren't easy to talk about, especially when addressing self-care and things like that. So I definitely appreciate you sharing, and I know the students and other people who view this will appreciate it and can probably relate as well. So
awesome. Thank you so much for having me. I'm honored you asked.
Yeah.
And I'm happy I got to talk to you. I hope you're doing well. I hope all of our kids are doing well. We're going to get through this together.
We're going to get through it together. So I have to say, I appreciate you being the first, the brave soul to be the first person I do this with. I think it worked out great. But in lieu of having you on here, I'm going to ask people to post on Twitter their top 3 Broadway shows with the hashtag CWALKGE, Coffee with a Counselor, Grice Edition. So we can see what everybody else is seeing on Broadway, and maybe you guys can have a conversation about that. And just to close out, I do have a closing quote. Sometimes we're tested not to show our weaknesses, but to discover our strength. And that's by Unknown. I thought it was fitting during our time dealing with this virus going around. So thank you again. And stay tuned for possibly another segment of Coffee with a Counselor, Grice Edition.